Hello, my name is Roland Junk from EPLAN Canada, and I want to show you when the plan becomes EPLAN, we can talk about efficient engineering. So if you remember on previous videos, I showed you how to create this small panel here using the RITAL configurator, and I basically uploaded it here to my Eview. And I can also share it here if I wish to. I can share it with different people. I can say, okay, please share this with my colleagues. As a designer, I can run down and pick other colleagues if I wish to. I can also invite other people, new members, by just entering here an email address, and there it will be shared. It could be your customer, it could be your colleagues, doesn't matter. So once this is done, those people will be able to actually look at this project and take some notes. So technically what they can do is inside their Microsoft Edge, they can open technically here the ePulse, log in, and once they are inside the ePulse, they can open the section here called eView for free, and they can see the projects they've been invited to. None of the other projects are visible, but only those projects. So the project here is our project as we talked about it a little bit earlier. It contains several different pages, table of contents that were generated automatically. It contains some schematics, and anyone can actually see the schematics as I saw them. And whenever you feel there's something missing, you can also redline here, put maybe a small rectangle in the area where you found it, and say, okay, I think here we should add a function text to this motor, right? There's a missing function text. So I'll just go here, missing function text. And I will even go as far as putting a little bit more details, like on both motors, the function text is missing. Not much. It's interesting. Of course, some of my colleagues, or even myself, we could go back in here and we could say, okay, let's revise this and even go one step further and right away approve it, because yes, indeed, please do add the missing function text. So this, of course, could be a different user, it could be the same user, or it could even be the EPLAN designer. And I can see here in the left-hand side if anyone else actually did put out some other redlinings, and I can see here outputs. Oh yeah, missing outputs. As I can see here in the history, I can see the different comments. There are some PLC addresses missing and 3 pilot lights that we would want to add. So of course here again, I can go and say, okay, approved. Yes, we missed these. Missed them. Please add. And another one that might be a little bit more complex is this one here, bigger panel. What is he talking about? Oh, they want a bigger panel. Well, that will require a little bit more changes. We'll have to check this out. Okay. And of course, anything else in those pages is also there. So we have a kitting list, a very detailed parts list. We have ducts and rails ready to be cutted here with length. We have even a drill template for every surface that will require some sort of a rectangle or a hole for push buttons, or even simple holes for all of these rails and docks. Is actually all generated automatically. Terminal diagrams, interesting to actually assemble the terminal strip. Even better than this, we have a terminal lineup diagram, which is a detailed parts list given to us by Phoenix Contact. We have some labels for wires, labels for devices, that's all generated automatically. And we have, for the fabrication of the wires, here a wire fabrication list that comes out with a source and a target. Everything is there. But since we have some major changes to do, let's jump back to EPLAN and let's do them inside EPLAN or ProPanel. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly use here the same EView, and I'm going to use the same, as you can see, especially the ones that are approved. I'm going to go here with the missing function text. This will open immediately the page in the same spots as it was, just goes away. And the function text we were talking about here was the clear function text that we have to add. What is this motor doing? So this is basically the main drive, or I'll just call it motor 1, or it could be conveyor, robot, whatever, you know, whatever this does. In this case here, I'm not too sure what this motor 1 does. I'm just going to put it there. And you can see on the other side here, I have to put the same thing, but it's going to be for motor number 2. Most likely change it, you know, to motor number 2 here, whatever this is. This is cool. So this now means that I can go back in my approved modification here and say this has been done. I can sign it. I can even put a date or whatever, it doesn't matter. And boom, it's done. So I can go back and now I can study the more complex one, like I said earlier, the bigger panel and the outputs. Let's go for the outputs first. So what do we refer to here? Well, first of all, we need a PLC connection. So all of these pins typically have what we call a PLC address. In this case, they don't. So we have a nice feature called the PLC, or the select plus element, which actually allows us and enables us to call up this menu here, and it will simply do the addressing automatically for me, so I don't have to do this, and I have the addresses showing up. Question, of course, is do I want to keep in the center here these kind of rectangles? Most likely not. Even this one here, maybe, do I need it? Maybe not. Let's see. Now this is good. So this is my PLC. Is that looking good? I think it does. You know, like it's really how you want to keep that PLC card, or how you do this. Cool. So each, did I do this right? I think I did this wrong. Interesting is in EPLAN, you can see that we have an undo list. So I can undo a few different things, boom, and it shows up again correctly. What I did wrong is when I actually deleted these items here, I should have just deleted the rectangles and nothing else, right? Should have not deleted the big box that is around here that actually carries the device. Interesting. Undo list is done. Now we're talking about placing some devices. 2 ways of placing devices. I'll jump right away into the device. I'm going to go with some signal devices. It could be here a specific indicator light blue. I can check it out here. This has everything I need. It most likely comes from the data portal, so I don't have to do anything. I'm going to place this pilot light, and interestingly is that the symbol appears right away correctly. I will ask to place all 3 of them, and if I refer back to the function text, they also ask me to put some function text to say this is in manual mode, automatic mode, and machine has stopped. Machine is stopped. Cool. There we go. This, of course, requires a little bit of these. And before I do so, you know what? I will actually, because this is a revision, I will also start a revision, which is my revision 1, to adding 3 pilot lights. Okay. So what happens then is, of course, if you activate the revision management, as soon as you come and add something, you will see it turns into draft mode, which is actually good on this in this case here. So this is a 24 VDC. Let's go and check out in this schematic if I do have some common I can use. So if I open this in a different page just to analyze, I can see, oh yeah, we have a common here. Doesn't go anywhere, so why don't we pick it up? So we'll just go here on this page, and we'll say, okay, let's put an interruption point, rotate the interruption point, put it there, and go and get the, which one is it? A1 common, somewhere in this list here. You will see it, it's there. You can even see which page it's on, and automatically you get a cross-reference. This is exactly what I want. I can jump from here, I can jump here. It's all nice and dandy. So since I added these, I will obviously also run my wire numbering because these are new wires, so I have to run the wire numbering. I get new wire numbers. So far, so good. You can see actually where the wire numbers are. And I will finally say, okay, this page I believe is completed. So I'm going to complete this page here by completing the page and say, okay, this is my index 1, or I could call it 1A, 1B, whatever. It's the first thing I did on this page, and I added, as requested, the 3 pilot lights. Good. Now, because I did this, I can, of course, go into my here into my Eview and also inform everyone that I did it, was done, index 01 on that page. Cool. So far, so good. This means now that the draft mode is gone, the registration is down here, and I have one first revision information that comes along when you actually open here with the revision management or the collaboration tool, which is included in the Pro panel. You can edit the revision data and you can see this added as requested 3 pilot lights. Now, what I omitted is to actually specify that these are also new parts. New parts means I will go here in revision in the parts reference data, and for the procurement, because I already did some purchasing, so I have to basically find a way to show everyone that here this has been added. I can put added in R1 in revision 1.0, let's say, if you want, or in revision 1 in R1, and you will see then that this comment could show up on a bill of material. Okay, so this is for these 3. Of course, by doing this, it recognizes it. Even though you don't see it, it does recognize it. And I will have to comment what I just did there. Unfortunately, even though it's not visible, it's a second modification here. And I added the procurement details. So this is good. Because the procurement details will show up a little bit later if you go to a kitting list, for instance, here. These are pilot lights. So if you look in this list here, at one point in time, you would expect these pilot lights to show up. And here you can see it also says added in R1, right? Procurement, I displayed here. So you can see the details about the procurement. Make sure that you don't forget them because they were added in revision 1. Not finished yet, because if I say I want to add them, I have to add them here in this section here. So I'm going to go to the front view and see if I have some space. And most likely I do have some space. So let's see. These are actually push buttons, and I'm pretty sure that they are placed already, but we have a little bit of room here and there. So why don't we go and get out of the section here that we have, the A1 section, and we check out what kind of devices are not yet positioned. So on the A1, this is basically a filter that we set to a mounting location, and whatever is not placed, and you can see here there are a few devices, and these 3 pilot lights are there. Now, is it wise to actually pick all of these devices at the same time? Maybe I can place 2 of them here, okay, but with a certain distance between each other. So here I could say center to center, 75 millimeters, going from the left to the right. So let's start somewhere along those lines. Boom, boom, places them. Whoop, there's a collision found. Oh, collision, of course, is not good. So that means either we pick this one up and we drag and drop it somewhere else. So maybe there's a little bit of room up there. So that we could do, right? And the last one, we can just drag and drop it and place it there. Okay, cool. That's good. So we have those. Now, what else do we have to change? If we go to the redlining, there's another redlining markup, which was here in the redlining, is bigger panel. Let's take a look at that one. What does this say? Wow. Okay, this will imply a bigger change. They want a bigger panel, eventually a panel that is, I would say, a few percentage bigger. So let's see, what kind of panel can we do? So I'm going to go to RICS, to the retail configuration system. So the retail configuration system allows you to really find the perfect panel in a very nice concentrated way, because not only does it allow you to pick big panels, small panels, so you don't have to go through the whole catalog, it really narrows it down. And then you can filter by a few criterias. Let's say the width, we keep the same width, and we check it out. And we can see here different panel sizes. So 600 by 100 by 250 might actually be interesting. That's a 1090. Okay, so 109000. Going back to EPLAN, I'm going to go here directly into the EPLAN data portal, and in the layout itself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, right next to it, I'm going to add this new panel. And you'll see it's very easy to actually flip over to a different panel. So let's go 109000. There's a panel. I can pick that panel and just simply come and import it. It will import all the accessories and everything that goes with it. Same width, but a little bit higher. And to make it actually nice and clean, I'll just drop it here in the drawing right next to this panel. And I'm going to transfer all the objects from one panel to another. You'll see it won't take too long, because I will just drag and drop the components over and I'll be good to go. I'll fine tune it and I'll finish this up. So the download seems to take a little bit longer because they do have a lot of accessories that they are downloading. In this case here, we're probably talking about cable trays, we're talking about special handles, we're talking about all kinds of objects that, that are being downloaded at the moment. So hopefully it's going to be finished quickly and soon so we can actually come and place it. Because this here, this panel, like I said, is a panel. If you would actually continue in the RICS here as an example, you could do this here in the RICS, and the accessories it's downloading for the moment are the same accessories that you find here. Could be like comfort handles, it could be some special hinges. Like I said earlier, you know, they even have some proposed LED LED system that actually will go right at the top here. You can see they put it in. They have some pockets. They even have some plastic cable glands that will go down at the bottom there. Depending on what you can add to these components, that is the stuff that is being downloaded. So when you come to this side here, at one point in time, of course, it actually sticks to your mouse. And I'm just going to dump it here side by side. And we have the new panel. You can see it's much bigger. And as I just did this, I will now transfer the components. So this video, of course, is a little bit longer. I hope that YouTube will accept the whole video. So here you take it as a front view, check it out, and you can say, okay, maybe we want to start with one specific item here. So you can also say, okay, let's just show the doors. This is a very nice trick that we have. And I'm going to just drop all the components that are here. I'm just going to drag and drop them and come and place them on this one here. So do I have to go as far up? Probably not. I can probably go down a little bit because I do have a little bit more space, right? Another thing that you can do once it's dropped over is move individual items in different spots. Like this one here, we could actually move it down to the very bottom here, no problem, to have a better air circulation. So I'm going to do the same thing with the backplate. So show only backplates, show only backplates. And here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick very carefully in my selection just what's on the panel, not the panel itself. And I will just move it. And here, when I move it, it sticks to my mouse. I can move it up here. Now, of course, when you do move it, you want to check out a few different things. So here, just move it down a little bit.